3 secrets that every new photographer needs to hear. I get so tired of hearing from people that are struggling getting into photography, whether you want to do it as a hobby or whether you want to do it professionally. It's 3 areas that I see people stumbling in constantly. And in this video, I'm going to talk about what you can do to get going in photography, to expand your photography, to, become successful in photography. Whether you want it to be a hobby, whether you want it to be a part-time business or a full-time business, we're going to talk about what you can do. And if you know my videos, you know that, I say 3 things, but I'll probably give you 4 or 5. So let's get into it. But before we start, who am I? My name is Mike Patterson, and I'm an award-winning professional photographer located here in Western Canada, and I've been in the photography industry for over 39 years. I make my living exclusively from photography. Not only do I do photography, I own and operate a full-service photo lab where I print for photographers from beginners to professionals from across North America. I also teach photography, and I use my videos to share my love of photography and how you can get more from photography. So before we get started, click on that little like button down below, click on the subscribe button, that little bell notification, and let's get into it. So what are 3 things that every new photographer should know? Well, number 1, and it's a big one, and that is don't put off till tomorrow. Start today. Yes, things are going to change. The business community may get better, it may get worse. Technology may improve, it may not improve. A new camera may come out, it may not come out. Get started today. Get off the couch. Stop watching TV. Stop watching all the YouTube videos. Get out there and start your business now. Start taking pictures now. Only by taking pictures will you get better at taking pictures. No amount of watching YouTube videos is going to help you. If you need help, get somebody to teach you. Get a mentor. Pay for somebody to help you get started. Get somebody that will give you that kick in the pants to get you moving. But get started today. It's stupid, but it's so true. Only people who start a race will finish a race. And I see it constantly. I have people come in here almost on a daily basis that tell me that they would like to be a professional photographer, that they would like to go out and shoot nature photography, that they'd like to shoot families and wedding photography. And I say, well, start it. And they go, yeah, it's just that. And they have tons of excuses. Stop giving yourself excuses to fail. Start giving yourself reasons to succeed. Get started. A small step today will get you a little further than no step. So get going in it. All right, number 2. And this is a big one, and I see it and I hear it from people constantly. And that is, I'm following this trend. I'm changing. I want to stop following the trends. Stop following other people. Do what you like, work on what you like, build on what you like. I'm not saying ignore trends. I'm not saying just walk blindly. I'm saying stop following everything that you see on TikTok, on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube. Stop following all of this stuff. Start with your start with the area that you like to take pictures in and build up from there. If you start doing wedding photography and you see a new trend coming out, there's nothing wrong with incorporating that into your photography. But don't go about changing everything you do just to follow that trend. Because what happens is the trends stop. The trends change. The trends don't take off. Perfect example. Years ago, every customer that called me wanted a canvas wrap. Why? Because they were pushing canvas wraps everywhere. Every supplier in the world was saying, get a canvas wrap photo. Well, most photos don't look that great in canvas. They just don't. The right photo looks amazing. So I would educate people. People would say, well, gee, thanks. I didn't know that. They would come back. They would buy more prints from me because I was actually honest with them. I didn't follow the trend of just shoving canvas wraps down their throats. Likewise with family pictures, likewise with wedding pictures, nature pictures. There's so many trends out there that people try to follow. Macro photography, micro photography, this photography, that photography. Get yourself an area that you're good in, work on it, use the trends to improve yourself, to add things to your photography, but don't get stuck in it. Don't get suckered into it. All right, the next one, number 3. Stop this quest for the perfect piece of equipment because it doesn't exist. I hear people constantly, well, I'm waiting for the new Sony to come out. I'm waiting for the new Nikon to come out. I'm waiting for the new Canon to come out. It makes very little difference what equipment you have as to the final results of your pictures. Another example, I have a couple photographers locally. One is an amazing family photographer. She uses an old Canon digital camera. Her stuff is amazing. I mean, fantastic. I mean, it's award-winning quality. It has nothing to do with the camera. It has to do with the photographer. Yes, she would like a newer camera someday, but the work she's doing with the older camera that she has, her customers love it. And she's busy. She's as busy as she wants to be taking pictures. And it has nothing to do with the camera. I hear wildlife photographers constantly saying, well, you know, when this new camera comes out and it has this feature in it, then I will start, when this lens comes out, when they come out with, it's never going to be enough for you because there's always going to be something promised on the horizon. There's always going to be something that will be a bit better than what you have today, but it makes very little difference. Get started with the gear that you have. Get started today. And if you need to upgrade, if you need to improve, then go from there. A little bit more. I have to expand on this gear thing just a little bit more. In the last couple months, I've actually been kicked off of 2 Facebook groups because of this. I've gotten so upset over it that I had to say something. One group was one of these photo groups that make over $100,000 a year shooting only 3 or 4 times a year, and it's just totally bizarre stuff. Another one of these Facebook groups that I got kicked off of was how to get the most money from your photography. And both groups came up with the same thing. It's almost like it's one of these trends that's coming out. And it is this exact thing. If you buy better photography gear, your customers will book you more. Your customers will spend more just because they see that you have the newest gear. It's a bunch of garbage, people. First of all, I've never, ever in 39 years of doing pictures had somebody contact me and say, what photography gear do you shoot with? Is it the newest gear? Never once. I sell my pictures by the quality of the pictures that I do, by my portfolio. I don't sell stuff because of the gear I have. And it's a load of garbage thinking that if you have a better camera, if you have a more expensive camera, that people are going to pay you more. It doesn't work that way. People don't come in and say, let me see your camera equipment so I know how much I'm going to pay you. Stop this BS. It doesn't exist. Get the gear that works for you. Get the gear that you're able to take good pictures with, great pictures with. Use that. Sell the work that you produce, sell your portfolio, and go from there. Okay, and finally, and this is probably as important as anything, and that is don't get discouraged with where you're at, and don't get discouraged where other people are already at. And again, I see this constantly. I deal with it constantly. People will get into photography, or people will be in photography for a year or 2 or 3 or 5 or 10, and somebody else will get started and they will all of a sudden surpass them. They'll all of a sudden be busier than them. They'll all of a sudden be shooting more, displaying more, asked to go into shows, all of this other stuff. Things are going to happen. Things are going to change in the world. Somebody's going to come up with more connections than you. Somebody's going to come up with that one shot that everybody wants. Somebody's going to have a different idea of how to shoot something, a different business model. And yes, you may not be as successful as them right away, but don't let it discourage you. Continue working on. I know a wildlife photographer went out and shot like 10 different pictures. Out of those 10 pictures, half of them went viral. And they became popular. They were on the news. They were on the radio stations. They were on this. Their stuff was being displayed. They were being asked all these questions. This person didn't know how to use a camera from anybody. They just happened to luck out and be in the right place at the right time. A number of other nature photographers that were long-time people came in and expressed their displeasure with how this person's all of a sudden marketed up, how this person's all of a sudden doing this, how this person's all of a sudden being asked for all this other stuff. It's going to happen, people. Believe me, I've been in it long enough. I've had people start businesses a couple doors down from my business, marketing the exact same thing as I was marketing. Weddings, family pictures. They had more money than me. They had better equipment than me. They lasted a year, 2 years, 3 years, and they were gone. It will happen. Be concise. Be precise. Continue to work on, continue to move forward, and you will be successful. Whether you want to be a hobbyist, whether you want to be a professional, whatever it is, you will get better by the more you work at it. So until next time, have yourself a great day. I hope this encouraged you. Put down below what you like to do to encourage yourself, and we will talk to you soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye now.